We're going to kick on into our best of 3 ZVZ, and look at this, both of them going to be opening up aggressively. It's going to be a gas pool opening here from Snute, who then pulls out a gas on 4 gas. No, sorry, he's got link speed finished. This is what I get for coming to the game late. Top left, Snute opening up with the 13-12 compared to just the 12 pool from Impact. So the difference here is that Snute will have a slightly later pool, but he will have link speed, but also Snute will have a much later hatchery on the low ground because of the gas that he has mined. But Snute is going to play only Zerglings. He's not going to play Banes, which means he will get the minerals for a hatch in the near future. And in general, this just benefits Snute because he's one drone ahead, and as Impact comes across the map, Snute sees this, and as Impact has earlier lings, he realizes that, oh, he's in a bit of trouble. So Snute just going to keep on massing up lings here for now. I wonder when he does try to take the... when he does try to kind of start droning once again, I suppose. He's going to throw down a hatchery now. He's got an overload on the way as well. That'll actually pop out pretty much on time. And now he will start to make a drone. Link speed will finish up shortly, and, well, Impact being forced into a spine crawler here is immediately just not really what you would like to see happen at this stage of the game, as the blue Zerg, with these lings about to get speed. I mean, the link counts are pretty even. It will depend a little bit on the engagement you can create. With the Queen at home as well, though, Impact should be pretty okay. And so he will be, again, going off of that kind of earlier hatch. But Snute will forever have this link speed to try and utilize. He's going to run by into the main. I like this. You know, you can grab a couple of drones. At this point in the game, killing a couple of drones is huge. You know, when it's 15 drones to... You know, when it's like 15 drones a piece, 3 workers killed is like, what? 20% of the economy? You know, that's a huge amount of workers that are being killed here by Snute, comparative to how early in the game it is. Now he's going to try and grab a queen. Can he get it before he goes into the gap? No, he cannot. He'll wrap around the side. He does want this kill, and so he will commit to it. It will lose him a few lings, but again, it's just going to slow Impact down, which is actually kind of nice, because now with only 1 queen out, he will just make up for that kind of inject he misses out on by having a later hatchery himself. So this works out very nicely from Snute. A good little way to play. Generally is going to be a build order advantage if you go for the slightly later pool and the gas with it to kind of, you know, utilize that speed. Because one thing Snute can do now as well is he can delay the third base of his opponent while moving into his own third base without any real concerns. And he knows that his opponent is gasless. And so knowing your opponent is gasless means that, you know, maybe you do have a good opportunity to abuse things with a bit of Ling Bane aggression while he may still be sat just on the Banes. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see a few drones do transfer down to this low ground. And just going to see the Rotoron building up here from Impact. I love the way he builds this, by the way. Obviously, he's trying to set it into a bit of a wall, but builds it right in front of the spine crawler. And that just actually saves a little bit of surface area on this spine, which just makes it a little bit kind of more difficult to get rid of. And still moving it here, it's the same idea. You know, you got a bit of surface area that is still going to survive. As Snute is just going to drone up like a madman. In the meantime, you know, we see Impact going Rotoron Evo Chamber, just going straight to Roaches. But again, Snute will use his advantages. He will take a faster third base because he has speed. He'll throw down a bit of a faster lair rather than, you know, the Evo Chamber and Rotoron right away. And Impact just momentarily supply blocked. As again, I mean, Snute, we're talking about him having an income lead throughout this game so far just because of the way that the early stages opened up for himself. And now he goes into the Rotoron too. So again, with all the ways that, you know, things have gone so far, he's still just going to end up in a bit of an advantage here. The 11 worker difference really is the huge part of this that will just continue to just haunt Impact in the coming moments. So these few links up top, think about where they want to go. Third hatchery will be finishing very, very soon. +1 missiles is starting from Snute as well. The fact that +1 missile starts before the missile attack upgrade of Impact, pretty interesting also. Impact still without a lair, by the way, just starting up link speed. And he doesn't have that much gas yet. I mean, if he doesn't do something soon, then it starts to look like a bit of an all-in where he might just spam out roaches and go for kind of a roach ling attack with no upgrade. But, you know, if he wants to go for that, he really needs to hit before +1 of Snute finishes. And so he's only going to have 70 to 80 seconds, which means roaches basically have to start now and get ready to move across the map very, very, very quickly. He's going to start Carapace upgrade, which is still very indicative of playing like a Ling Roach playstyle rather than just roaches, because the Carapace upgrade will apply to both Lings and roaches going into the future. But again, I mean, the thing is the +1 Carapace will kind of negate the fact of the +1 missiles, but initially here these roaches still are going to have a +1 missile advantage for a little while if Snute wants to try and hit a timing, which he might try and do, knowing that he's had a much stronger economy throughout the game so far. He might just say, well, if I've had a much better position than you throughout, then maybe I can just kill you with one large attack across the map. That's definitely something that could happen here. See how it develops for impact. Again, he's got a lot of lings right now. Can he catch Snute off guard? Well, no, not really. Good place by Snute. Keeping his roaches bunched up together in a mineral line, just kind of really minimizing surface area. And he's already starting to split a few units away towards the natural expansion for this eventuality, which is lings starting to run by in towards the main base, etc. as well. So again, still going very well for Snute here. As these roaches do come in, and they will clean out a few more of those lings and impacts. It's going to type out GG instantly. Not doing any damage because of the self-promotion rule. So it's always nice when someone else helps to promote your event by talking about it on our StarCraft and letting people know, spreading the word, spreading the joy that is StarCraft 2. GLHF called at the start of this game from both players to the lower left-hand side of Proxima Station, where you are kicking things off with Team Liquid Snute, of course. And he is going up against the Blue Zerg player in the top right-hand side from Dead Pixels. It is Impact. Again, appreciate you all tuning in as well. What's up today? Everyone's very quiet in the chat. What's going on, guys? How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling okay? We doing alright? Let me know what's up. Let me know what's happening. Let me know how your day is going. And, yeah, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. You know what that means? Pretty much the weekend. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Weekend, boys. Actually, it's kind of weird. I don't know what we're going to stream Friday and Saturday. Like, Sunday we got Go for SE2. But I don't know what we're going to stream for the next couple of days. We might have to do some ladder streams or something. There's just no tournaments to cast the next couple of days. This tournament's going on in StarCraft happening. Just actually casting stuff is a little bit of a different question. So it's a little bit intriguing as we'll just see this hatchery coming on down here on the low ground. So hatchery begins to get built. It was a pool first, by the way, from Impact. So pool hatch. Just playing safely might make a few lings to try be aggressive. Snute just going to go hatch, pool, hatch, which means that he's going to end up on 3 hatches very quickly and just try to take an economic lead right from the get-go yet again. Now, it is Proxima Station, a map that can be very difficult to kind of end games on. You know, if you go into Roach versus Roach and there isn't a major advantage for one player to just push in and end, then how do you ever really attack it? I mean, attacking in Roach on Roach is difficult anyways. Never mind when you get to this stage of the game that you're basically going to be covering 4 bases by just sitting in a concave out front of the 3rd base. And so at that point, you know, it becomes very difficult because you don't want to just be attacking into a concave at any point. And that's, you know, that's always a difficult thing as well to do. Kind of just make sure that that goes kind of correctly. They wanted that sweet, easy karma. That's why they posted it to Reddit. It's not sweet, easy karma, but yeah, I mean, if people want internet points and they get to promote my event while doing so, I'm very happy about that. It's actually, I mean, honestly, I mean, this is coming from the heart of a content creator, and it does actually, everyone I think will agree with me, that if you do enjoy anyone's content and you think anyone's content is awesome, you know, maybe do, like, you know, you don't have to do it all the time, but just every now and then maybe think about posting it to our StarCraft or something, because it goes a long way, and content creators themselves aren't really allowed to post there very frequently. It goes a long way to spreading the hope, and it's one of the best ways, honestly, you could support a content creator outside of just obviously consuming their content and subscribing, etc. So, you know, if you're not going to be subscribing and supporting the stream because maybe you don't have money to spend or whatever, then one very super easy and cheap and completely free way for you to support is to go on our StarCraft, is to go on Team Liquid and post about it, is to go on, you know, Twitter and be like, oh my god, this awesome event is happening, check it out, you know? Word of mouth is one of the most powerful tools of promotion. So it's a great way to support anyone's content, whether it's mine, Base Trade, Fear Dragon, whoever in the StarCraft scene. What's worth checking out is Snute is, ooh, doesn't actually get the drone kill in the end. Nice little bit of micro by impact. And as we see the lag coming on up here from Impact as well, the Evo Chamber about to finish up. Snute still just droning off of triple hatchery, no tech at all, basically no units. He's got a few Zerglings. No, he doesn't even, he's only got Queens out. In fact, both players are at the stage of the game where they only have Queens out, so a little bit of an interesting one. Yeah, the Snute seeming to be just a little bit later in terms of the upgrade on the +1. You will throw down a Rotron, and you will throw down the Evo Chamber 2, so he will get +1 good for himself in the near future. What I was going to say is that he has to be cautious because, or Impact has to be cautious, because if Snute is building a Rotron and a Lair but no Evo, then we're most likely going to be seeing a Spire actually coming down, and that could create, well, it opens up an entire new set of doors for the ZVZ matchup and the direction it can go through throughout the throughout the tournament. So it would be interesting to see the Political Missile attack on either side of the map starting up then. And again, Snutes will be a bit behind. That's actually a Spire though from Impact. So actually Snute's going to get away with this, having a later +1, but not having an Aspire means that obviously he's going to be able to kind of just catch up on Roach count. There shouldn't be any sort of +1 timing advantage that Impact can really kind of make use of. Obviously you will have to therefore though deal with the Mutalisks and deal with that Spire play. We'll see if that's something Snute's going to be able to get done in the near future. We actually cast some Snute ZVZ the other day in the Go for SE2 monthly finals. In the grand final against Bly, we got to see him playing some really cool StarCraft 2, honestly. He played this, game number 1 was like this crazy versus Mutalisk game, and he was like behind initially. And then from being behind, he like, it was just a crazy game. If you guys didn't see it, it won't be on YouTube for a little while because we cast so much recently. We've got a lot of uploads to make. But it is on a VOD if you go catch the Go for SE2 monthly finals. Game 1, Defenders landing Bly versus Snute. 100% 100% worth checking out. So, great game, great ZVZ. I know you guys are like, ZVZ is so dull. But I think Mutalisk-based ZVZ, Mutalisk versus Roaches, is a bit more interesting for a lot of people. A lot of people just hate on ZVZ because of Roach versus Roach, but... And because of the fact that there was a while where it was just like super fast all-in after super fast all-in for a while, like... You know, early gas pool versus early gas pool and all of that kind of, all those sort of shenanigans. Some Roaches here just pushing out the front. We see the Overseer from Impact is going to be pushed away over to the left-hand side as just scouts through the main. Does Snute have any scouting? Well, he doesn't, but now he does see the Mutalisk with his Overlords. And so he has a good idea as to how this is going to go. We're going to see instant Hydrogen from Impact. Also going into +2 missiles pretty quickly. How many mutants did he make? 7? So he's really not looking to go past the 7 Mutalisks. It's going to try and distract, do damage, and get into a good position with these initially. And then with the Hydra Den, I'm thinking, does he go for Lurker Den and just try and play Lurkers off of this? Yes, he does. That's kind of, I guess, the more obvious way to play this out. With the Lurker Den coming through, you're going to be able to get yourself in a position where you distract and buy time with the Mutalisks. And then suddenly you have these very strong units that are very difficult to play against, as Snute, who's building into Hydras when he maybe doesn't need to, because obviously, you know, playing against Mutas, you generally do want some mobile anti-air, but against 7 Mutalisks, well, Queens will definitely just suffice. Like, 7 Queens with Transfusers on them. Yeah, they're a bit slower than Hydras and so on, but they are definitely enough to push these Mutas away, so we'll see what Snute commits into. He's got a couple of Infestors as well, by the way, too, so that helps him to potentially engage. And you've got, what, 40 seconds until Hydrogen finishes, so we're a minute out from having Lurkers on the map. Now, does Snute attack? Does Snute find that opportunity to go across the map and deal damage? The Mutas are so far committed into main base, he might very well go for that, because these Roaches and Ravagers could move across the map quite freely at this point. It doesn't look as though they're going to. Again, obviously, huge army supply lead for Snute right now, but Impact has a bank to spend, and it's going to be spent on those Lurkers, and you can be behind an army supply by quite a distance and be completely fine against Lurker play. That's just the way the Lurkers work out, as you're so super efficient at trading. Against, especially Roach-based armies, like, there's just no way for Roaches to really fight them easily. One way would be to try and outmaneuver them, outposition them, which is difficult to do on Proxima Station, because it is a very laid-back, kind of macro-focused map. And then, I mean, the other ways to kind of go about it is to play into Hive, and, I mean, Ravagers can help out a bit against Lurkers, but primarily you really do want to get up into Hive tech and get some Vipers out, Blinding Clouds, Abducts. That's going to be what Snute needs to really fight against this. Starting to push across the map. Uh-oh. The users split up. Oh, nice transfuse to keep the Infestors alive, actually. Alright, well, Snute moves forwards. Decided he didn't want to go for that now. Now he will see the Lurkers with a couple of Lings that run by, so he knows what's coming his way. Does he have enough to fight against this? He's momentarily down a +2 missile upgrade as well, also. Not by much. You know, a few seconds is going to be finished, but it means that he just can't jump on this fight before the Lurkers burrow or anything. Snute may just look for the Concave here and see what he can do. Couple across the bars to ward away. First Lurker shots don't really connect on anything just yet. Snute pushing out the Concave just a little bit further. He's actually going to loop some Roaches around. I mean, if you get a full surround on 6 Lurkers, the splash damage is obviously going to be minimized quite dramatically. So, that could be what Snute's going for. He could just go straight for the counterattack in general. These Roaches going to run around, and so far from Impact, no response, no units at home. So those roaches looking as though they're going to get a lot done. Obviously, Impact trying to push forwards here is in a bit of a tough spot because the lurkers have to move in a position to do something about it. As you're going to see, one lurker starting to go down. Great splits on the top side by Snute to help minimize that lurker damage, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, he's attacking at the natural here, but he's not making very much progress. I say natural, I should say third base. He's not making much immediate progress, and while pushing up this ramp, I mean, Impact just seems to have so much. A couple corrosive bars will kill a lurker. You know, there's only 3 lurkers that remain, but again, the damage they've already done is pretty crazy. Now, Snute is starting to do good damage here, picking off a good amount of drones while going into a hive back at home, but now the roaches come out, and so Snute will lose out on these units as he still tries to throw some corrosive bars down, having to push through a bit of a choked up area to get in towards these lurkers. Well, that's not pretty, but Snute finds a way. He actually came in from the back with a few units, took the shots with those units, allowing to push through the choke point. Very nicely done, maintains the gold base as well. And he is also, meanwhile, expanding to the left-hand side, probably because he was expecting the gold to go down. But the fact that now he builds over to the left, that's pretty crazy. He's going to find a lot of Ravagers currently morphing in. Corrosive Biles on top, maybe? Not going to happen. Snute just still looking to take the opportunity here. +1 Carapace about to finish up from Impact. Is that going to make enough of a difference, though? Perhaps, perhaps not. I don't think so. I think it finishes too late. And Snute already just has a huge numbers advantage. And so the Lurker play got shut down, and I wonder if Impact should have just gone for more lurkers. I mean, the way it's kind of weird because it's such a defensive unit, and yet you try to use it so aggressively, which, you know, you could see the opportunities, you could see the potential there for it to work out, for it to go quite nicely.